Jesus makes a statement about Herod the fox. He references Jesus' own impending death. And then he utters this phrase which shows the depth of Jesus' love and heartbreak for people. Why he was willing to give up his life for people. When I read it, I'd imagine in my head that he might have broken into tears at this point. He says, verse 34, how often I would have gathered you as a hen gathers her brood under her wings. If you just come to me, I'll protect you and you'll be safe. But you won't come. Jesus' heart and desire is to gather us into his safe, loving arms. That's his heart and desire. Jesus longs for us to come to him. He longs for us to hear his invitation and to respond, and then to come and to know his love and his forgiveness and his grace and his healing and the protection and the safety that comes from him. In Revelation 3:20, Jesus kind of flips the table. He says, behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if anyone hears my voice, I will come in to him and dine with him and he with me. What Jesus is appealing to here, I believe, is really our need, the deep, real human need to be loved. To be loved. We all want and need to be loved. There's not a person here in this room that doesn't need love, that isn't needing to be loved, to experience the love of God. Rich Plass and Jim Cofield, who wrote the book Relational Soul, they were here this week working with all of our staff all day on Wednesday and then an evening with most of our community group leaders and ministry leaders. It was a wonderful time together. And one of the things they said during that time was this: the tendencies of our heart is to live from a posture of defensiveness. We're self-protective. The ego's default is to be reactive. So we either fight, freeze, or flee. But none of these options move us any deeper into transformation. So the first movement of Christian spirituality is to learn to be loved. What being a Christian is about. Learning to be loved is the reenactment of the first stage of childhood, which if you had a loving father and mother, you learned to trust because we knew we were loved. God comes to us in Christ and declares that we are loved by him. That's it. For us to learn to be loved. It's not easy for us because we've experienced hurt and pain where people haven't loved us. But there's a safety that comes from being gathered into Jesus' arms, to being gathered under his safe wings. His arms, they are strong enough to protect us, to care for us, pure and tender enough not to hurt us. Many people in Jesus' day, they rejected the safety and love he offered to them. He says, yeah, you're forsaken. Like there's going to be more, you're going to regret it later. There'll be mourning and this weeping and gnashing of teeth and pain. So there's no other safety outside of Christ. Only in and through him can we find a home and the family that we long for and we need, a loving family. Today, do you find yourself kind of like feeling like you're on the outside and just looking in and you're just longing and wanting and needing to be loved, but you're scared? You're scared of that? Skeptical whether it really work out? You can come. I want you to know so much. You can come into the safety and security of Christ. He will care for you and care for you so well. Jesus knows. Jesus knows the way to be safe. And the way to be safe is to be in his arms.